Hi folks, welcome to the next installment of Let's Play AGEOD's Civil War. Uh, at the end of the last turn, there wasn't a heck of a lot going on, but we have Hooker besieging Fort Pike. They didn't manage any attack on New Orleans or anything, so those two divisions are still sitting there making sure we hold on to New Orleans. While Hooker's besieging this fort, the defenses are still intact. So I'm going to put him in defensive mode and just have him sit until maybe we can get a breach in that fort. Up here in Missouri, Lyon made it into this area, but we can't quite see him. If I hover over these units in Fort Smith, we can't quite see exactly what the makeup of their defenses are at the moment. But anyway, it doesn't matter. By moving into this snowy mountainous region, Lyon's forces cohesion has dropped all the way down to 36 out of 83. So I'm just going to put him on defensive mode and let him rest right there in that area for a while. He'll probably recover cohesion slowly because the weather stinks and he's in the mountains, but he'll recover it. And once he's back to full strength, I'll probably move him over here into this region across the river and then attack Fort Smith from there. I could attack Fort Smith directly across the river, but when you try to attack across the river, that hurts you. It's better to try to cross the river first and then attack. So that's what my plans for him. For the moment, he's going to sit. He may have to sit for a couple turns to recover his cohesion. One thing I totally whiffed on telling you guys about last turn, I just forgot, was that Kentucky finally decided to join the Union. So that's good for us. So because we could finally enter Kentucky, I'll move Grant's command with this one division there into Louisville to defend Louisville, a quite important city. And we also get this little force, this Camp Robinson, for free, so I'll start to move them out of the mountains. My goal for them is to move them next to Lexington to try to see what's in there, and maybe we can attack if they have very weak forces there, but oftentimes I just end up pulling him all the way back up to Cincinnati to try to defend that area. It's not a very strong force we have here, but it's useful nonetheless. So here in the east, Joe Johnston's force disappeared. It looks like they cut the rail in that area, and then I guess they pulled back. And Beauregard hasn't moved. He seems to have rearranged his divisions. Now before he had 4 divisions, now he has 2. But his power is still around 1,000, give or take 900 plus. So he's still sitting there. McDowell is still back on his way to Washington D.C. He'll be there in 9 days to help the defenses there. So I'm leaving these guys in place, and I think that's about all I'm going to do this turn. Leaving this division here just in case. And I think that's about it. So let me pause it. I'll do the inner turn. Maybe next turn we'll be taking Fort Pike. Let's see. Alright, hi guys, we're back. That was the inner turn. Nothing exciting happened. There were no battles or anything. It looks like we haven't been able to make a breach here in Fort Pike. But I think nonetheless I'm going to have Joe Hooker assault the fort. I sure hope this works. So I hover over the fort, you can see that the defending units total about 250 power. But I know that one of the units in there is a very powerful coastal artillery unit whose guns are really trained on the water. And I don't think that coastal artillery unit defends when it's being attacked by land units. So although it says that the power in that fort's 250, it may be more like only 100 or 150 of that is actually available to defend against Joe Hooker. There's probably a few infantry units in there and probably some sort of a artillery battery in there. So since Joe Hooker has a power of 1,000, I think we have odds enough to go ahead and assault it, even though we haven't breached the defenses. We'll find out next turn. Maybe he'll get pushed back and we'll have to besiege him again. But I'm taking a chance. We'll see what happens. Over here in the west, Nathaniel Lyon's troops have gained some cohesion. They're back up to 59 out of 83. I'm going to let them rest one more turn, let them gain back some more before trying to head off here towards Fort Smith. No, if we hover over Fort Smith, we can see that the forces in there, they have a power of 128. Lyon's division, probably at full strength, will have a power of around 500. So those odds are pretty well in my favor, so I think I'll feel comfortable in trying to assault Fort Smith. Maybe we'll lose anyway, but when we have 500 power and they have 128, it looks like we'll be able to we have good odds of winning that battle in the future. So if it's still 128 when we go to attack, I don't think I'm going to be attacking for quite a few turns while he recovers cohesion. So that's it for Lion. Moving into Kentucky, you see Grant has arrived in Kentucky, and this force is continuing to move towards Cincinnati. And here in the east, not much is going on. Beauregard hasn't moved, and I'm going to leave all my defensive forces in place for now. So the only other thing this turn to point out that I think is extremely important, if you look at this total blockade option, which you remember we've clicked twice so far, it says there you must wait 0 turns before picking it again. So these sort of things are about to reset. So I better go to the Financials tab, and I'm going to raise some war bonds, and I'll do some exceptional taxes to raise us a whole big pile of money, knowing that these options are going to reset again next turn. I'll also go to the Draft tab, and I'll call for volunteers. That'll get us 183 conscription points at no cost. This will reset next turn. And also, because it's the end of the year, the mobilization option is going to reset next year. See, it says you must wait 0 turns before picking it again. This is the one that you can only choose once per year, but since it's the end of the year, this is when it resets. So next turn, I'll be able to click a lot of these again, and I'll have piled up so many resources. I'm going to go here and raise a whole lot of troops next turn. So that'll be pretty big. Just make sure my replacements tab is full, and my railroad and shipping capacities are adequate, and they all are. So let me pause it again. I think I'm done. I'll do the next inner turn, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so really quickly, we're in the middle of the inter turn, and Hooker assaulted Fort Pike, and it looks like we took it. We've lost 261 men and killed 615 in the process, and took some prisoners. So that's really good news. Fort Pike is now ours. That's one of the 3 forts we wanted to take in that area. All right, let me pause it again, and we'll see if anything else exciting happens. Oh yeah, one more exciting thing happened. There was a battle at Fort Pickens. I never really pointed this out before, but Fort Pickens was sort of a lone fort we were holding in southern Alabama, and I never sent them any reinforcements or anything like that. But the Confederacy went ahead and attacked it with 21,000 men, and it looks like it was a stalemate. We lost 1,300 men. They lost 1,400 men. This is honestly great for me. I had a small defending force there of 2,100 men, and they're going to lose this fort. There's no way around it. But they're inflicting a whole bunch of casualties in the process. I like that. The North has more resources than the South in the long run, so any little bit of amount of attrition I can get on them now is good for me. So we're about to lose Fort Pickens, but I'm pretty comfortable with this. Let me pause it again, and we'll see what else happens. There was another battle at Fort Pickens. They followed it up by attacking again, and we lost this one, so I think that's the end of that fort. Here, I'm going to pause it again. And that's it for that inner turn. We've taken Fort Pike, they've taken Fort Pickens, and I think that's a good trade for us. I'll go ahead and end this video here. In the upcoming video, since it's the middle of winter, we're just going to be raising a whole lot of troops, and the only people who'll be moving around are maybe Hooker around New Orleans and Lyon in Arkansas. So maybe the next video, I'll make it my goal to make it a 10-minute video that covers the whole winter, where I'll spend probably 2 hours of my time raising troops and moving them around, but you guys will just see the highlights of my doing that. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to wing it, but that'll be my plan for the next video. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.